Hey everyone, and welcome to the program. I'll be talking about Dave Matthews Band live at the Hollywood Bowl, September 10th, 2018, from Record Store Day Black Friday 2019, or was it? Stick around and we'll dive in. So, this past Record Store Day is come and gone. If you're like me, you got out there early, waited online, got your releases, hopefully got everything you were looking for. We're gearing up now for Record Store Day 2020, which really isn't that far. There's such a short period of time between Black Friday and the actual Record Store Day that it feels like sometimes you don't even have time to truly enjoy what you got the last time before the next one rolls around. I'm looking to, just talk about some of the things that we picked up on Record Store Day. And in this case, I didn't pick it up on Record Store Day, and none of you did either. It feels like every Record Store Day, there is just either a debacle, some dumpster fire of a release. It's just a mess. And this is definitely one of them. There was a huge mess, obviously, with the Pearl Jam release, just, whether there weren't enough copies or the distribution on it was a nightmare. But, word got out early that this one, which is a 5 LP pressing, was not actually going to be available on Record Store Day Black Friday. There was some sort of hang up, and it's really difficult. Nobody ever said what happened. Was it a situation where the presses just got backed up and they couldn't press this and get it out in time? Was there distribution issues? They didn't really say, but there's also been just, ever since it came out, it's gone from this exclusive release to one that you can get, just walking out to your store today and getting it. My record store that I go to, they look for wish lists so they can order and hopefully get what their customers are looking for. So they took everybody's order, not an order because they can't reserve anything for you, but they got everybody's wish list. They put in their order, and then they started notifying folks that, they expected to have certain releases in, and in most cases everything. And I had known at that point that this one was going to be delayed. So when I got the wish list confirmation back, it mentioned that this would be unavailable. I reached out to the owner and I was just curious, do you expect to get it in when it finally comes out? And she said, yeah, we're expecting it to come out. I think that originally it was supposed to be maybe a week after Black Friday. It was supposed to finally arrive. So she said that, once they get past Record Store Day, whatever isn't sold, they can hold for customers. And she was saying too with this one that because it wasn't a Record Store Day release at that point, anybody that had put it on their wish list, they would hold a copy for you. So I was like, great, I'm going to get it. I'm not going to have to rush out and worry about it. It'll be there when I want it. I ended up going back into the Record Store Day, I don't know, middle of the following week. Because she said, when I talked to her actually at Record Store Day, she said, she has no idea when it's going to come. It could come, Monday or Wednesday. And she said, as soon as it comes in, we'll just give you a call and you can grab it. I was in the store middle to late in that week. And it's still, I think it might have actually been the date it was supposed to be in officially. And I get there and it wasn't even there. And then like a day later, she ended up calling and said, hey, we finally got it. So I went and I picked it up. In the meantime, they had made this available on the Dave Matthews Band website to just buy. And it was actually cheaper than what record stores were selling it for, which was a little bit frustrating that they would kind of undercut the independent retailers a little bit. And then, I don't know, a week or two later, I ended up going into another record store that I go into with a little less frequency than my main shop. And I don't know, they might have had like 15 copies of this thing floating around. This thing is so easily obtainable. It's ridiculous. Now mine, it says 797, and when they first announced it, they said they were going to press about 1,000 copies of this, or between 1,000 and 2,000. I don't remember. I've heard that there's like 3 to 5,000 of these things floating around. There doesn't seem to be a consistent number of copies out there. I know other fans of the band have been a little bit frustrated because, they picked it up at a higher price than it's available for now. If you're looking for this or considering it, you might even want to wait longer, and it's just going to get discounted more. You can't predict that necessarily, and who knows what'll happen. But I know one of the stores that I go to had on their Facebook page just a week ago, and we're right now in early February 2020. When I'm recording this, and they put out a note with a picture of this saying like, hey, we still got a bunch of these in stock and they're available if you want it. So it's just kind of an odd release, and I don't know if it was something tied with the band, if they just wanted to have something special available because they were at that point on the fan ballot for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Or if it just, there was pressing delays, who knows? There just hasn't been a whole lot of detail as to what happened with it. As far as the concert goes, it's good. It's a solid listen. I'm glad I have it. I mean, that's as frustrated as I've been with this one, I have no regrets in picking it up. I love Dave Matthews Band. I've been listening to them, ever since they really broke onto the scene, early 90s when I was in high school. So I certainly am happy to have this. I have, most of their albums still on CD. I didn't go out and rebuy all their albums on vinyl, but their newer releases I have on vinyl. I've got they've been putting out some archival releases on vinyl recently, which I've gotten in the past few years, and I might show on this channel at some point. But it's a good show. It's a solid show. It's got the war horses on here, the ones that you would expect to hear or hope to hear, like Ants Marching and Crash Into Me, but a lot of other things too. It's some covers like Sledgehammer, All Along the Watchtower, a mix of old and new. It's a good concert. Obviously with a band like them too, they're a jam band, so they've got extended versions of their songs. Some of the sides on this are a little bit short in the sense that there might only be one or two songs because they've got those extended jams. So it's a good overall release. It was a frustrating release. Let me know. Did you pick this one up? Did you get it on? Well, you didn't get it on Record Store Day, but did you get it shortly after? What do you think about it overall? Or are you on the fence of this? Are you thinking about getting it? Let me know in the comments, and we'll continue this conversation. Be sure to give me a like. Give me that thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. I'm planning more videos in the future. Thanks, everyone.